Okay, here we go. Similia est accusatorum ratio. You might get used to seeing similar with the US version listed in your dictionary. It's a superlative. So most similar is the ratio, which is female. It's like reasoning. Sometimes it means accounting. Sometimes it means method. And we have the genitive. So most similar is this way of thinking of accusers, but you might want to say in English with the accusers. The lobe has most similar is the case of when it comes to accusers or something like that. So, alae vestromansuas sunt. So, some people of you, other people who are you, are the geese. So you have to say some of you are geese. Qui who, tantum only, who can merely only, clemat, who can merely make the noise, but they are non-possent to nocere, they're not able to harm. And here's the other correlative. And the other group of you are canes, dogs, plural, who et latrare et more possent, who are both able to bark and to bite. Cibaria, it's the food, vobis to you, vitimus. We see to offer, literally it says, to you food. So we see to it that you are given food. This is like the lawyers or something he's talking about. They're getting paid, probably. And you, autem, however, maxime, especially, debitus, you ought to, and we're talking plural there, to make this impetum, this attack, in eos, in the accusative, against those qui who merentur it, plural, people who deserve to be impetumed, to be attacked. Hoc, this, populo to the people, is est gratissimum, most pleasing, you're favourable. Deinde then, si volitis, if you want, etiam tum, even then, when aliquam, something, cum verisimilum laret commisse. So when you're committed to something, when you come across something which is similar to the truth, probably for a accusation, in suspicion, so you've come into suspicion, we have a future imperative plural, latrotot, which means bark then. So you should be making attacks against people who deserve it. This is what the people want. Then if you come across someone who has something similar to a good accusation in suspicion, then you bark. So sin, if something not, autem however, moreover, if there's something not, sic agis, which you are arguing or doing, ut that, argutus, you argue someone, aliquem, has occidisse de patram, has killed their father, and neque, and neither, possessed it, you're not able to, what have I done there? You're not able to speak this, or actually speak some proof when you bring it to court, or to quare, something to do with it in reality, or quomodo, or how this was done, and tantum only, and merely only, sine suspicion, without suspicion, latribitus, you bark, crura quidem vobis nemo suffringa. So no one is going to suffringa it. No one's going to break your crura, your legs, which they did with the dogs, quidem indeed, or even vobis to you. So it's your legs. No one's going to break your legs. Said, but if ego hos bene novi, if I know hos, these people, bene well, illam litterum, this letter, cui to him, vos usque eo inimici estis. So you will be basically called an enemy, having a letter branded on you. There's a footnote in the lobe. Ut etiam calens omnis odoritus ita vema. Here it is. Ad caput affinget. So this will be affixed onto your head, basically. So it's going to be branded on your head. That even those all these people will hate vehemently, thus on the calends of the month. Because apparently interest is due on debts at the beginning of the month. So they sort of hate that date because payments are due. Anyway, so that ut posterior, so that afterwards, neminem, no one, alam nisi fortunas vestres accusere potus. So you're not able to accuse anyone, no one, except for your own fortunas, your own, I'd say misfortune, really. 58 in the Latin library is 21 in the Loeb. So quid mihi, what to me, dedisti, have you given me a defendum that I must defend or to defend? Bone accuser, this is vocative, a good accuser. Quid hisc autem ad suspicionem. So what, autem, moreover, this is dative, hisci. The C is just emphatic, really. What have you given to these people? Ad suspicionem, like he's used the gerundia. So he was there, what have you given me to defend, and what have you given these men in the way of suspicion, ad suspiciendum. Ne ex herederentor veritoses. So veritoses is a verb of fearing, so the ne is an ut. So he was fearing he would be disinherited. Audio, I've heard this. Sed qua de cause veriri debuerit. Well, what is the cause? That he ought to be veriri, that he ought to fear. Nemo has dictated, no one has said. Habebat pater in animo. So the father was having this thought in his mind, in animo. Fac, imperative. Dick had a duck with fur on its back. They're irregular imperatives. So make this plainer, make this clear. Nihil est. There's nothing to make clear. There's nothing. There's non quicum, not anyone. Okay, deliberaver. So he did not deliberate or did not inform anyone. Quicum. Whom fecerat certorium. If you know anything about Latin, you know that means to inform someone. So he didn't talk about this with anyone, and he didn't make anyone certerior. He didn't inform someone. Undi, from where istud this vobis to you. Okay, so the venerat in mentum. So this come into vobis, your mind. So from where this suspicion was able to come into your mind. So basically saying, this is a load of rubbish. You haven't got anyone the father said this to. He didn't inform anyone of this. There's no one from where the suspicion could come into your mind. Cum hoc modo accusas. So cum, when, accusas, when you accuse someone, hoc modo, in this way, vocative, erucius, surely not, non hoc parlem adicis. Surely you shouldn't say this, parlem, openly, which is a adverb. I quid acceptum scio. So I know what I've received or accepted. I know what I've received. Quid dicam. But what I should say, nescio, I don't know. There we go. Unum iliad. This one thing, spectavi, I saw, was what quod Chrysogenus abat, what he was saying. That neminum, no one, isti, dative to him, futurum, that's the second type of future, in the future would be his patronum, which is basically the lawyer here, someone who's speak for him. De bonorum emption. So the day is taking emption. So concerning the buying of these goods, genitive, and day, and concerning society, this alliance, neminem esse. There's no one, qui who, orderat facere verbum, if we work backwards, who would dare to make a word, hoc tempore in this time. Okay, so he sort of asserted that at the very beginning as well. Haec te opinio falsa. So haec, these things were the false opinion that impulated te, which pushed you basically in istem fraudem, into this deception. Non me Hercules, that's a one word. Not by Hercules, fecises verbum, you wouldn't have made a word. See, if to you, quem, accusative, if anyone, putasses, if you had thought, here is the nominative doing the thinking, and you are the dative as well. If you would have thought there was anyone who would make a response to you, a defense basically. 59. Opere pretium, right? It would have been worth the price or the expense. See, if Ulysses, this is the gentleman of the jury in the vocative, if you had animadvertistis, if you had noticed the negligentum, this negligence eos, which is his negligence. So, gentlemen, you would have noticed this if you had considered his negligence in this accusendo. Sentence in the ablative, you'd be saying, or you might want to say by this accusation as well. So it would have been worth time and effort here if you'd actually considered the negligence of this accuser here, Ulysses, gentlemen. Credo, I believe, cum videsset, when he had seen, qui who, were the homines, the men, sederenting in hisc subcellus, sitting on these benches, that's plural. Num, surely, if you know your num, quaise, he would have asked, would have made inquiries, ille or ille, him or him, defensorus esset. Okay, so what it says is, when he saw the man sitting in these benches in the courtroom, he would have asked, would it be this guy or this guy picking up the defence, the defensorus? De me, concerning me, ne suspiciatem quidem, so ne quidem, not even, it would not even, essay, have been suspiciatum in the accusative. So concerning me, it would not even have been suspicious, quod, because, ante before, nullam dixerum causam publica, because I'd never before pleaded one of these kind of trials, a causam publica. This is like a serious criminal case, okay? Postere quam, after which, in vanity found, neminem, no one, eorum qui possunt, no one of those who was able to, and sole and accustomed, ita, to do such things, no one who would defend him. So here he is feeling negligence, so he's dissolute basically, and coepit, and so he began to be negligent, so he began to be sort of downtrodden, and then ut, cum in mentem venerat ea, and so to him there came into his mentem, into his mind, he residerated, he sat down, day in day then, he spatiraturd, which is a deponent, means walked about, covered some space when he was walking, non numquam, someone, etiam even then, vocerated a purum, which is like a page or a boy's slave or something. So then someone even called a slave, credo I believe, to whom he would imperare a canem, to which he would order his dinner. I don't know, I'll make a daily dictionary word. Okay, so spatiator, spatior, top 20,000 words. Basic word means to spread out for a space, but take a walk, promenade about, or just walk. Okay, so that's what he did here. And I believe he even ordered third process, which means further or absolutely, or to sum something up, and concessu to you, and hoc conventu. So into this gathering and to you, he's abutoring, which, as you know, utor and abutor takes the ablative, which would explain this section of ablative here. So we would believe he would abuse you people who are sitting here in this gathering, pro summa, as if he was summa, absolutely or totally, solitude, alone. Done for the day. Per oravit aliquendo ad sedet serexa ego. So per oravit, as we know, oravit means he's been talking. Per is a conclusion, so it looks like he's concluded his talk. Aliquando, this means for some time he had talked and he concluded, and he had said it, he sat down, and then serexa ego, then I had got up. So here he was talking about he didn't think that he made this accusation, didn't think anyone would defend the client, sat around, ordered some lunch, and was abusing basically all the court and the legal system. Then he got a bit of a surprise when he sat down, and Cicero had been found who would get up to take part in the courtroom.